Have you ever felt lost, confused, or indecisive, and then suddenly a feather just appeared in your path, and instantly you just knew the answer to all of your questions? Or maybe friends and family keep buying you animal themed things, and you're wondering, why do I have like 10 pairs of frog knickers or owl cushions? And you want to understand, why is this animal turned up in my life? Or perhaps an animal has appeared to you in a dream and you're wondering, what does this symbolize? What does this mean? How can this help me with my current challenge or obstacle? This is why I have created the YouTube series Animal with myself and guests. It's going to offer you insight into what is the magic, the myth, the medicine of the animal kingdom. What does it mean to have a spirit guide that is a particular animal, and how can they support you in your life's journey, in your healing, and in your connection to self? So whether you are seeking an animal guide, or you want to understand yours better, or maybe even yourself better, or perhaps you're just curious about the symbology, the mythology, the wisdom, medicine, and magic of animals, then this is the perfect series of interviews for you. An easy and accessible way to understand the relevance of animal spirit guides to you, along with practical tips and tools for integrating the wisdom of animals into your everyday life and into your spiritual practice. Now let us fly, gallop, and dive into this episode and the support and inspiration that will empower you. So welcome back, everybody, to this episode of Animal. Animal, as I just did in my introduction, is a YouTube series where I'm interviewing guests and we're sharing about the magic, the wisdom, the medicine of the animal kingdom and how we connect to them as spirit guides. So really what they offer us and how we can support them. So in this episode, I have with me Katie Ness, who is a fellow Moon Books author. So Katie Ness is a budding historian and folklorist with accreditation in prehistoric art, history of folklore, and medieval magic. She's also a head witch and a Magdalene priestess. She is also a yoga teacher of Hatha yoga, nidra, and yoga philosophy, as well as women's circles and womb blessings, and has written a book called Word Witchery, published with Moon Books, all about the power of word craft and poetry. So thank you for being here, Katie.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. And you are sharing about elephants today. So kind of now that I've had that introduction, I'm imagining elephants doing yoga.
That would be amazing.
Sure they could.
That would be amazing. I should do like an oracle deck or like some kind of yoga deck of like elephants in different kinds of yoga poses. How cute would that be?
It would be amazing. I can see that happening now. We've just called that into manifestation.
Yes.
It was funny as well, like when I was thinking about elephants and your episodes, I had this memory come up from when I was a very young child. And my brother will probably hate me for mentioning this, but it's fine, he'll forgive me. But when we were very young, we were watching the Jungle Book, and we used to love the part where the elephants were walking up the road and the song they sang, and we would like impersonate the elephants, and we'd put that song on repeat and like wander around the room like elephants. And that was definitely a yoga session, because walking on all fours is quite a challenge even when you're a child. Yeah, this image of like, I think elephants really have this very strong appeal, don't they? I think everybody loves them. You just get drawn to them. Like even like near us, we have Chester Zoo, and you see people, just the elephants are like the main attraction, and people will just stare at them, just amazed and engrossed. So this leads us into my first question for you, where I'd love for you to share about the magic of elephants. So how can they inspire us? Why are we drawn to them? What is it that they can offer us as empowerment and medicine?
So just for your readers to know this, I have my notes in front of me because ironically, elephants are known for their like wisdom and really strong memory, and I do not have a strong memory. So I've just got my notes here so that I can look at them and just connect with that energy. I think what's really interesting about elephants is that there's a playfulness to them and a very immense, strong, grounded feeling as well. And those two usually don't tend to match, but it works with the elephant energy. And they also have this sort of like, like with dog energy, some dogs that you meet in your life are very human like, and they talk, they try to talk like us, and they connect with us on a very human, very personal level. Some dogs don't, they're just very dog like, and that's beautiful in its own right. And I think it's the same with like other animals like elephants and whales and dolphins. Those kinds of animals, they have this quality to them that's sort of curious, and they reach out to us, or you see them in their herd or in the zoo, and they are connecting with each other in a very loving and playful way, and sometimes in a mischievous way that you would see your siblings do the same thing. And I think that could be why we're drawn to them. Also, they're kind of funny looking in the cutest possible way. And I know that in Africa, they're seen as these guides that bring on the prosperity of the rain, and they're kind of seen as these grey rain clouds that sort of dodder along the plains. And I just thought, oh, that's really sweet. So I think it's that beautiful combination of that immense power, but gentleness, that groundedness, but then there's that playfulness. And it's sort of like that dance between these two opposing forces that can seem paradoxical in I don't know, a person that you might know, but actually works within the energy of the elephant, I think.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love that image, like you said, of the rain clouds kind of like going across the plain. And obviously that makes sense, a place like Africa where rain is so rare, that they're connected to that idea of prosperity, isn't it? And I think that how lucky are we to know this creature here in like the Western world, when it does have that deep connection to Africa and India and all those different breeds.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that kind of transmutes into like a spiritual connection? So if, say, an elephant turned up as a spirit guide, someone started dreaming of them, or seeing like elephants would kind of appear as a sign or a symbol, do you think that what what does that mean for the person that's seeing them, maybe?
So elephant spirits, so interestingly, even though elephant is I consider it my guardian spirit and has been with me for a really long time, I have never dreamt of elephants. So I would assume it's the same kind of symbolism in general. So I'm just going to reel off some spiritual information. So the biggest, strongest symbolism with an elephant is wisdom and memory. So they are a matriarchal animal, and usually there's a matriarch who's super wise, and she looks after the family, and she is the wisdom keeper of this herd. And she represents the sacred feminine in that respect. She is the one that represents that ancestral wisdom, and not just their immediate ancestral wisdom. It's like going way far back. So if you want to tap into that energy of working with your ancestors, the elephant is a really, really good guide for that. They approach the past and that ancestral information, or things that they've learned along that journey, that slow, patient journey of learning from the past, to then inform how you work with the present self and also your future self. So it's really all about wisdom across time, and holding that wisdom and being that wisdom keeper. You often find people that are really drawn to elephants tend to work a lot with the ancestral realms and the time-space continuum, lineages, and connecting with that liminal space in all aspects of life, to attain information of the Akashic records and all kinds of different forms of consciousness and realms and things. And And then also on a physical level, which deepens into the spiritual level, you've got strength and stability. They embody this immense physical power. And often elephant people, or if you tap into that elephant energy, you can see how that transpires if you embody that in yourself. Like, you can walk into a room and you might be the gentlest person in the room, but if you embody elephant wisdom and elephant strength, people are like, ooh, that's like really strong, immense, but grounded, wise. You don't have to speak or say much, but there's something about you that's very stable and strong with this immense physical power. Even if you might be the size of a bird, you know, you have this immense power around you. And then there's that steadiness and the resilience. Elephant people, or people who work with the elephant, tend to have others come to them because they are the wisdom keepers and they are steady. And so oftentimes they become the counselors of their friends because they're like, this person knows what to do. And they can teach resilience and strength in gentleness and patience. And then there's the family dynamic and compassion. You know that elephants represent that sort of sticking with the herd and looking after each other. And that elephant energy can come through in people who have really strong bonds with others. They don't have, you know, meerkats, for example, big social pack, lots of friends, but the elephant has a select few that they really, really care for. So they can really bring in that nurturing side and that compassionate side to somebody who will devote themselves and be loyal to somebody and care for them and protect them if things are feeling unsafe for the person that they love. For example, as I work a lot with elephant spirits, people would say that I'm very family orientated, but it's not in the patriarchal structure that we know of. You could have your found family and they are still your family. They're your core people that you really truly love and would do anything for. That's elephant energy. And elephants also, again, finally, they have big hearts, and often, you know, embodying that elephant energy, you can hold people in your heart and have so much compassion, and work with charities and help and support people that really, really need that big hearted energy in this life.
Beautiful. They sound like a much needed medicine, you know, for the modern day and all of the conflict and the well, I think about kind of the way that we're all being pulled apart or set against each other, but also as you were saying that, I was thinking about those of us that kind of like, you know, like our quiet circles, that, you know, there's a lot of pressure to be out there all the time, to be extrovert, to be sharing and doing, and they sound like they would bring kind of this validation, I think, to being quiet, you know, to resting, to kind of it being okay just to have our own time and be in our own place and just take things slow. Like, everything is so fast these days, you know, everything's fast, and we kind of have this oh, what do you call it, like entitlement society, I call it. Like, you know, why, you know, I know in restaurants they have this pressure, don't they, where they've got to like get to the person in 5 minutes. The food's got to be out in 10 minutes, you know, and it comes out as burnt because they've gone so fast. And you know, I think like having this animal that shows us that it's okay to go slow, you know, to take things slow. And like you said, to have the patience, I think, to do that, like you said, I think maybe it's something they can inspire, because it can be difficult, I think, to find that patience to go slow, because we want everything now, don't we? You know, we want that relationship now, we want all that money now, we want to get to that goal now. Even like New Year's intentions, you know, people expect to have done it by like January the 4th. You know, lost 2 stone in 2 weeks, you know. And I think that, yeah, that sounds like they'd be a really good reminder to take things slow, an example to show us how to do it.
Absolutely. I'm a very, very patient person myself. And again, I suppose because I've been working with the elephant for so many years since I was a little girl. And like, I'll go to restaurants and the waitress is like, I'm sorry, your food is, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to shout at you. It's just food and it will come when it's ready. And my teacher of Vedanta, who also works with the elephant god Ganesh, who also embodies these similar traits, always says to me, everything in divine timing. It'll arrive when it'll arrive. And I really take that message on board. And when you have patience in such a fast world, you become a lot more heart-centered and compassionate towards the people that are trying to get your food on time, or trying to, if you're just shopping at Primark and they're busy and they don't have your size and they're frightened that you're going to shout at them. And it's fine. When you can, if you could look in the back, that'd be great. And it's just, it really does, that elephant spirit really does teach patience and compassion. And I just find, as you say, that in this world, it is much more needed. We need more elephant people being presidents and in government power.
I suppose the way to kind of to encourage that is to feed into that energy by beginning with ourselves, you know, and we can offer that patience to ourselves first,
Yeah.
and begin to practice that as a self practice, and then offering that to other people, like you said, you know, even at the restaurant, just saying it's okay, like it's fine, you know, there's no pressure to perform, you know, just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have kind of like briefly shared a little bit, you know, about how elephants kind of been on your path, but I'd love for you to share a little bit more, you know, like why elephant for you? When did it appear, perhaps? Like, did it come at a certain time, a certain moment? You know, what has it taught you personally? What does it mean on your spiritual journey?
I feel like this is like the perfect story, actually, because I was thinking about it this morning. How when was the first time I encountered an elephant? And it's perfect. It's through a movie, and it's so childlike and playful. It's from The Secret Garden. The first clip where she's in India and her parents have gone to a party, and then there's that earthquake, and I see her with these two ivory elephant statues, and I remember being a little girl going, I wish I want those. And she hides under the bed, and then she puts them under the bed with her, and I managed to get to myself. So these are part of my, I have a herd, I have a family of elephants on my altar, and I just instantly connected with that object. But then I started seeking, well, what does that mean in like dreams and in animal totems and things? And it went from there. And a friend in my 20s had this incense holder that was a little elephant. And again, I was like, I'm so drawn to that. And I really would like that. And I actually have one now. I have an incense holder of Ganesh, and you can stick a incense stick in his head. So he's in my little travel Ganesh that I take with me when I go on holiday and things. And then I was in a charity shop one day, again in my 20s, and I stumbled upon this lonely elephant that was 50p. And I was like, I've got to take her home with me. And it's just been like collecting these elephants to create my little family. But what really, really started the journey for me was actually, I used to live in Plymouth, and we went on a day trip to Totnes, and we were in this sort of spiritual new age shop. And I came across this statue of Ganesh, and I had never seen anything like it before. And I really, really felt drawn to him. And since then, I've been working with him in my Sanskrit classes and chanting mantra to him. And he's here. I love him to pieces. So this is my Ganesh. And he looks very powerful, but also playful at the same time. But he's got a bum. And I love that he's been carved with a bum. And I just thought that was so funny and playful. And then in 2015, I was very, very lucky to go backpacking around Nepal, and I ended up in the Chitwan jungles, and we were at this eco camp, and literally down the road from me every morning, the elephants were given a bath, and if you wanted to, you could join in. And I gave this beautiful elephant who was the same age as me, her name was Mary Kali, and I got to give her a bath. And there's pictures of me, and it was just so incredible. And she was like making these really cute noises every time I gave her a banana. And I got to do the Jurassic Park thing where, you know, like where you get to lie on the tummy and the tummy expands. And I was like, this is a dream. This is so special. And she was so curious about me, even when she was lying in the water and I was giving her a bath. She was playing with my hair, and it was the best feeling ever. And then finally, I was also lucky to go to Bali, and this one is a really, really special story, and actually confirmed it for me that the elephant spirit is very much with me and has been with me for a long time. I was there for 2 months to do my yoga teacher training, and I became friends with the lady who runs the accommodation that I stayed at. And she has a Ganesh just outside, and she prays to him often. And she, as a friend, wanted to take me to somewhere that wasn't where the usual tourists go for the sort of like the water temples. She took me to a local place, I've forgotten the name of it now, of a waterfall. And there was these waterfall high priestesses, and they take you through this ritual, and you're drenched and you're cleansed by the waterfall, and it's an wonderful, amazing experience. And I'm there with Kadek and a couple of my friends, and the high priestess speaks in Balinese to Kadek, and then she says, it was actually quite embarrassing, in front of everybody, this one has a giant elephant around her. And I was like, who, me? And she said, if you were staying longer, we would want to teach you more of our ways, and initiate you into the ways of the waterfall, because, you know, elephants are associated with water and the rain as well as the earth. And yeah, so she said that about me. So of course that was really special. But then we went back to the accommodation, and Kadek was thinking that I'm really auspicious. So she made me have all these incense sticks, and she's like, quick, bless my house, bless my house. And I was like, Kadek, I'm still me. But that was a really, really special moment, and kind of confirmed things for me that the elephant has been with me a long time, which started with being a little girl and just going, ooh, I want that little elephant figurine, to, ooh, that Ganesh figurine is really nice, and now I'm working with him, to, oh, right, wow, okay. So the elephant has been with me forever, and now he shows himself to somebody who can see him, basically. Great. So I just love that, and I want to do a picture of me as a little girl, and then a kid goes, what's that behind you? Oh, that's my elephant spirit, and it's this giant elephant right behind me. So I kind of want to do that, maybe do a little children's book or something. So yeah, that's pretty much my story, the trajectory of how the elephant has kind of been with me throughout my life.
Oh, I love that. And I love the way that I think that you kind of affirmed that spirit guides or animal wisdom or animal connection can kind of come to us in seemingly very small ways that we don't perhaps sometimes give notice to, and until they we keep getting given signs. But also it can be bigger events as well. It can be bigger affirmations. And often when we start thinking about, oh, what animals turned up again and again, there's like these little kind of like breadcrumbs throughout our life, isn't there, that perhaps we've even forgotten. And I do think that if anybody's ever looking for an animal spirit guide, looking to their childhood really is the place to start, because there's always maybe a particular teddy or a particular film, like you said, that stands out, that kind of you were drawn to, and you can't explain it, but it's almost like as part of our unique blueprint, kind of, when we chose to have this lifetime and this particular journey in teaching, we kind of like had a specific animal that was like, yep, okay, I'm going to be yours for this ride, and I'm going to teach you what you need to know in this lifetime. And what a gift that is.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
So when you're so your practice, your spiritual practice, do you invite elephant in? Is there particular things that you do with elephant? Like, do you do I had an image then of like stomping, on the ground, like, with elephant music or something. That's just me going back to my childhood again with Jungle Book. But
how do you involve elephant in your spiritual journey, or how does your daily practices, with them, how is it involved?
Um, I do have them on my altar, and to be honest, I was joking with our publicist Rachel. I'm a bit of a lazy witch, so I don't really. They can. The important thing for me with my elephants is that they are together and they are a family. They don't get separated. I give them a bath because I'm kind of like their mother, and I give them a bath because the elephant spirit loves water as well as the earth, and also making sure that their energy faces a doorway, so that energy not only brings in prosperity for you but also removes obstacles. But the main thing that I do, that I work with elephants, is I work a lot with Ganesh. So I chant to him, I meditate with him. He helps me connect with my inner child, as well as like like I said in the beginning of the video, that childlike wonder and playfulness, that curiosity that elephants have, which really connects you with your inner child. But then there's also the wisdom keeper of an elder as well. And so you can sit in the middle of that and embody that, connect with elephant, and go on a visual journey to connect with your inner child self for inner child healing, but also embody the wisdom of your future self as well. And that container really, really softens you into the present moment to know that you're on a healing journey with whatever it is you've been through, but Ganesh is with you, or the elephant is with you, to remove obstacles, to teach you karmic lessons so that you can remove your own obstacles, so that you become the elder in the future. So there's this really beautiful in-between space where it helps you ground into the present moment and go, everything in the end is going to be okay. No matter what I go through, I have the resilience and the strength. I do have in my notes, there they are. Another way I connect with elephant is, as a yoga teacher, there is the elephant breath. It's usually used with children because it's really fun. So you stand with your legs hip width apart. So it's kind of like your legs are like a triangle. So you've got that in between space, and then you lock your hands together and you inhale and you bring up your hands here, and then you exhale between your legs. And it's just, again, it's really playful energy, but it really lets go of anything that you feel is in your way or making you feel heavy. And then you can pretend that your arms are your trunk and you can squirt water at people that have annoyed you that day. So it's that's a really, really playful breath work that I like to do. Visual journeys, again, the elephant is this calming presence that releases tension. And another way, not just with objects, pictures on your wall, and also because the elephant has a big heart and embodies compassion, do lovely, kind things for those that you love. That embodies that elephant wisdom of compassion and patience. And or go to a dog rescue center, or help out in a local charity, or what I do is, because elephants are this grounding force, they make me think of trees. So in order for me to feel rooted and grounded in that elephant energy, I donate a bit of my abundance to plant trees. And I do 3 chants, and I'll quickly tell you 2 of them. And I have a third one, which I have recorded. So if you would like me to send that over, and then you can add that to the end of the video, totally cool, but fine if not. But I chant Ganesh to invoke him in. So Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Or another one which really makes you dance. I used to be a belly dancer, so I really like connecting with like my legs and like stomping around and moving my hips and making a noise with my body in the same way that an elephant would. There's Om Ganesha Sharanam, and that's very joyful and playful, and it just makes you want to clap and sing with joy and stomp about in your living room or in a women's circle. And then there's another one which is a bit longer. It's called Ajamnir Vikalpam, and that sounds very much like a lullaby, and it really brings out this sense of like childlike joy and essence of bliss and sweetness that elephants, you see baby elephants in reels all the time, and there's this such sweetness that they want to sit on you and be cuddled and play in the water. And this particular chant to Lord Ganesh really brings that sense of peace and sweetness to your life. So I do that.
Wonderful. Just for those that don't know anything about the Hindu tradition, can you just share who Lord Ganesh is?
Yeah, sorry.
A little bit more, just because I thought there's some people listening saying, "Oh, he sounds great, but who is he?"
So Lord Ganesh is the elephant god in the Hindu pantheon, and he was the son of Parvati. And interestingly, Lakshmi, who I also work with, she's similar to Venus, Aphrodite. She's got a lot of Venusian qualities of beauty and abundance. And she asked to adopt him, which is kind of in keeping with me because I'm a Libra. And so I work with that Venusian energy. And he sits in this really sweet little body and a big giant elephant head. So he is very childlike in the body, but the elephant represents wisdom. And he holds the seed here, the bija seed, which represents potential. It's the potential you have when you have the strength to remove your obstacles and work with him to remove obstacles. I love him to pieces. Some more notes on him that I've just learned about him myself. So we're always learning. He rides a mouse. So every deity has a vehicle. Like, for example, Saraswati rides a swan, and that has a symbol. So he rides a mouse, and the mouse represents the material world, and that symbolizes mastery over our desires to attain pure bliss and wealth and abundance in a way that's beyond the material plane. And that's why he works a lot with Lakshmi, because you need both. You need Ganesh's wisdom and you need Lakshmi's wealth and prosperity in order to have true prosperity, to get past your ego, to get past your obstacles and learn your lessons, to have that fruitfulness in your life of pure joy and prosperity. And so I love him for that. And also his vehicle, the mouse, represents hidden paths to our abundance and the removing of obstacles. And sometimes he teaches us in life that things fail, things don't always go how we plan. That's an obstacle. Push that out of the way. That's in the past now. And we can build ourselves back up with strength and resilience. And actually, there's a lesson in this, and we've grown as a person, and therefore we've created a new path and found prosperity in new ways. So yeah, that's what he embodies. And he's also a benevolent deity, offering blessings, protection, and guidance through life's challenges. So very elephanty. So yeah, I love him. So
wonderful. Oh, thank you, Lord Ganesh. That makes me wonder, he's quite prominent, isn't he, in the, like you said, the Hindu pantheon.
Yeah.
And I just think I don't actually know of any other elephant deities. Obviously they don't have elephants in America, so there wouldn't be. But it just makes me wonder. He's quite, probably the deity, isn't he, to connect to elephant energy? But maybe Africa has an elephant deity, perhaps.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do have a little bit of folklore for you associated with elephants and rhinos, I think. Elephants, I think definitely. So once upon a time, Cyprus used to have pygmy elephants, these smaller elephant breeds. They're now died out. And so eventually when we discovered Cyprus, we saw these elephant skeletons in the classical world. And the way their skeleton is, it looks like there's a giant eye. And that's what created the myth of the Cyclops, because they thought that this was like a place of Cyclopses, when actually it was just an elephant skull. So that's interesting. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know. I know, like I said, I know that in places like Africa, they are revered as these sort of walking rain clouds that bring the rain. And they they embody that playful nature. When you see an elephant in water and mud, it's they're in heaven. They're so happy. So yeah, that's a really good point. I might need to look more into that if there is any. If there isn't, he's the only one. So he would be a really great, even if you don't know any mantras or know of his particular qualities, a lot of his qualities are very typical of the elephant symbolism anyway. So if he is the only elephant deity, then he would be a great way to work with elephant symbolism and energy in general.
Yeah, definitely. And as you were saying that as well, like, what came forth was woolly mammoth. Because I was thinking about, oh, we don't have elephants elsewhere. And I was thinking, no, actually, you talked about ancestral wisdom before. Actually, the ancestor of the elephant was all over this planet. You know, so even here in North Wales, we have like mammoth, you know, was here at one point walking this earth and every places. So maybe people could connect to mammoth as an ancestral kind of elephant energy as well.
Absolutely. I hadn't thought about that. Food for thought. That's really cool. Absolutely. And they're nice and furry and cuddly looking.
Oh yeah, and because of Ice Age, we all think they're very approachable and
Yeah.
tell really
Well,
bad jokes.
well, that's another thing is that like my guardian is the elephant, and I was thinking about it before I was about to talk with you. Like I actually embody these traits very well. Like people, I am very chatty and I am very playful and kind and compassionate as a person. But you don't want to cross me if you're purposefully mean to me. Then it's like, oh, and you see in the wild how elephants, they will charge at you, and they don't do it because they want conflict. They're doing it to protect themselves and protect their loved ones. So it gets to a point where like somebody's taken advantage of my softness and my compassionate side, then they will see my tusks, and it's a bit of a shock to experience that paradox in me as a person to people that don't know me. Because I say I'm 99%, you know, patient and kind and playful, but there's that 1% that like I am very much like guarded, boundaries, don't cross me if you're, or hurt my loved ones, because I will put up those boundaries and I will remove this energy as an obstacle, you know. So it really made me think about that. Yeah. So you're absolutely right about that to look at them, they look big and cuddly, but you wouldn't want to cross them.
I suppose they're a great example then, aren't they, of the like you said, the whole paradox of nature. You know, like my audience knows that obviously wolf is my animal, you know, and lions. And again, when we look at all these animals, almost every single one that has been in this conversation that we've been having over the last kind of year with these interview series, almost every animal embodies this paradox, and it reminds us that, you know, every part of nature, including us, you know, has these I mean, they call them the shadow and the light, don't they? But that kind of it gives the good and bad connotations, which I don't really like. But you know, we've all got this potential, you know, of going either way, the gentleness, you know, and the ferocity that I think in particular the mother embodies the most, which is that matriarchal energy of the elephant, isn't it? So it's like, you know, very, very gentle to that baby, but if somebody tried to come and attack that baby, you would see a completely different side of of mother. And yeah, I think that elephants, like other animals, this is just showing that they can help us to understand and embrace that paradox in ourselves, you know, so that we can be big and strong and powerful and grounded, you know, but we can also be gentle and kind and patient.
Yeah, I love that message. That's beautiful. You're absolutely right. And I think the more we embody these paradoxes and you know, we live in a world that expects perfectionism and you have to be a certain way. You know, the one thing that I'm currently annoyed by at the moment is this concept of what it is to be a lady. Like, that's not ladylike, that's ladylike. And it's like, that's a concept that doesn't exist to me. Like, it's just a patriarchal expectation put upon women. And it's like, sometimes I'm going to be this way and sometimes I'm going to be this way. It's just nature, and we are still a part of nature. And I think the more we embody these different sides to us, the more at peace you become within yourself, and with the fact that we are a part of nature. So I think what you said was very beautiful.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for everything that you have shared and all of the wisdom that you've brought forth on behalf of elephants, and thank you, elephants,
Yes.
for all of your groundedness and patience and power as well. So if anybody has any questions for Katie about anything that she has mentioned, anything you want to know more about, if you know of any other elephant deities, then please do just put them in the comments down below. We would love to have you share anything about your experience. If you love elephants as well, if they've been around for you, then you can also pop that down in the comments. So thank you again, Katie, for being here, for being a wonderful guest. It's all been very inspiring. So thank you, everybody, for watching as well. And do check out all the other episodes. There are many, many animals here, all offering their medicine, their magic, and their wisdom. We are truly blessed by the animal kingdom. And this YouTube series just shows that. Just see them all and just sit there in awe at everything that we are given by them. So I shall see you in the next episode. And thank you for watching. Take care.
Ajam nirvikalpam nirakaramekam Yajanandananandamadvaitapunam Padam nirgunam nirvishesham nirenam Padahapram harupam Ganesham bhajema Gunatitamanam chidanandarupam Chidabhasakam sarvagamyanagamyam Murityeyam paresham Parahabram harupam Ganesham bhajema Jagat karanam yana-rupam Surarim sukarim Ganesham Jagat vyapinam vishwavadyam suresham Parahabram harupam Ganesham bhajema Parahabram harupam Ganesham bhajema